obviously the most vital part of the car. It's the part of the car that is obviously in contact with the tarmac, that gives you the grip. And obviously you have to make the setup of the car around the tyre. We're very lucky in the WTCC that we only have the option of 2 tyre, 1 dry tyre, 1 wet tyre. There is no difference in compounds at all. You know, some formulas they run a medium tyre, a soft tyre, but with us we only have the option of the 2 tyres, either wet or dry.
Each car is restricted to normally 12 new tyres each race weekend for the 2 races, and also they're allowed to bring on 8 used tyres from previous events. But because of the nature of the events, they tend to use the used tyres which they've brought from other events for the practice sessions and the leading up to the more important qualification and the races. So the new tyres tend to be saved for qualification and the races, and the used ones from previous events for the practice sessions, so they can set the car up and get everything ready without losing the potential benefit of new tyres for the qualifying and the races.
We obviously have to look after the tyre as much as possible in the races, so we go for a slightly different setup in the races. Maybe the car is slightly softer to get the extra life out of the tyres, and then in qualifying we want to get as much out of the tyres as possible in that one lap, as much grip as we can create, so we go for a very aggressive setup to work the tyre as much as possible.
Some circuits are more abrasive, so they are much harder on the tires. So you know, we just change the setup of the car for the races, taking into account how many laps we're going to do. So it's a matter of, you know, changing the camber and things like that, maybe to play a little bit with the tire pressure, just to make sure that the tires live to the end of the race, but still in a good condition, because we want to still be able to go fast, obviously, on the last lap of the race.
We heat our tyres up because the optimum temperature range of a tyre is in the order of 100 degrees for a slick, while it is in the order of 60 degrees for a wet tyre. Pressure plays a very important factor in what contact area you've got with the road, so that is very important, but also those tyre temperatures are important. And to ensure that we get the maximum out of the tyre as soon as the car goes onto the track, we preheat the tyres. And what we do is we've got electrical blankets that are powered with heating elements. We wrap that around the tyre and we heat those tyres for about an hour before the car goes onto the track.
Having one tyre to do all those different situations it makes it a little bit easy for the teams, but of course they have to make certain adjustments to the chassis, to the car, to the tyre pressures, to the temperatures that they run the tyres at perhaps, to just try and compensate for those different conditions themselves. So it's easier and more difficult in some respects. We see the connection between road tyres and touring car race tyres as a much better, much closer sort of similarity than you would perhaps get between a road tyre and a tyre which would be made for a single seat race car, for example.